Hello students, welcome to this Frames 5 video tutorial on Fire. So there's a couple ways that we can proceed here. If you completed the Fire project last year, and if you still have that file in your student number, I would like you to open that file. If you were not here last year, or that file is not present in your student number, then I would like you to go back and complete tutorials 1 through 4. So I'm going to open the Fire tutorial that you completed last year. Look in your student number, look for the file called Fire. Now, it may have been a while since you've seen this file, so it's always good as an animator to review what you've done, so let's press play. Remember last year we animated this flame to show that a flickering fire. So we're going to extend this project and we're going to add to this animation. Okay, so in the timeline below, I would like you to push the slider all the way to the left and then click on frame 1. Okay, so what we're doing, actually let me not say what we're doing right now. It'll become pretty obvious in about 2 minutes. Okay, so actually I want to start on frame 2. From the Tools panel on the right hand side of your screen, let's click on this button here, the Shape button. Okay, we're going to click on that and we see a variety of shapes that we can use. So let's just use the thick line here. We're going to click on it. Now, we want to change the stroke color. So where it says next to stroke, we're going to change the color to a brown. And then I'm going to reduce the size of that stroke. We're going to keep it on a fill. Okay. Actually, let's take off the fill and see what happens. It's a line, so I don't think having the fill really makes a difference. Okay, we're going to start on the left side of the screen. We're actually going to start off of the screen. And I'd like you to create a somewhat horizontal line, slightly angled upwards, going to at least half of the screen, half of the screen over. I'm going to reduce the stroke width slightly. Okay, and I may have to extend it a little bit. It's safer to have it longer than shorter. Okay, all right. Now you can position it up. We don't want it too close to the fire. We also don't want it way up here in the very top of the frame. So I'm going to cut that distance in half between the top of the frame and the fire. Okay, on the right hand side, again, I'm going to go back to shapes and I'm going to click on the square shape. I'm going to keep the stroke color the same. This time, I'm going to click on the fill, and we're going to keep it white. If it's not already preset to white, then please choose white. So right at the end of this line, we're going to create a marshmallow. Yes, that's what we're creating here. Okay, we don't want the thickness to be too wide, so again, you can adjust the width, and we want it solid white for now. All right, at the top of this marshmallow, you'll see a little round button. Around the edges, you'll see all these corner squares, which allow you to adjust the shape of that object. But at the very top, you'll see a little circle, and that's the rotate tool. So what I want to do is I just want to slightly rotate it to the left, so it kind of follows the angle of the stick that we've got the marshmallow on. Now let's center this so that it's right in the center. It's lined up well with the stick. Okay, so there's our marshmallow on a stick being cooked over the open flame. So this object is still highlighted. Okay, if you've deselected, then all you have to do is click back on the marshmallow, hold the control key in the bottom left hand corner of your keyboard, hold the control key, and then click on the stick as well. Now both of these objects are highlighted, and from the top toolbar we're going to use a new tool called the group tool. So we're going to click on group. So what that does is it attaches the marshmallow to the stick and it now considers it one object. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the marshmallow so that it's just entering the frame on the left-hand side. All right. I've still got the marshmallow and that group highlighted. I'm going to click copy. All right, so from the timeline at the bottom, let's click on the next frame over. And then from the top toolbar, let's click paste. Now, from the top pull-down menu, from view, let's turn on our onion skin. Okay, so what we want to do is, because we can see the position of where the marshmallow was in the previous frame, I just want to slide it over about a centimeter or less than a centimeter. So I want to show a smooth movement of this marshmallow on a stick being pushed into the fire, or pushed over the fire. Okay, so I'm going to click copy again. I'm going to go down to the timeline and click on the next frame over. I'm going to click paste and I'm going to slide it over. Again, try to keep the distance the same. The distance that you slid the marshmallow over in the previous frame, I want you to kind of remember that. So I'm going to kind of go with a standard centimeter movement here. Okay, so the process is repeated over and over. So I'm going to click copy. I'm going to click on the next frame in the timeline. I'm going to press paste, and then I'm going to slide it over because I've still got it on onion skin. I'm going to slide it over about a centimeter. Okay, let's repeat the process. Let's click copy, then click on the next frame down, next frame over, and I'm going to click paste, and I'm going to slide it over. Okay, all right, copy, click on the next frame, paste, and then slide it over. So hopefully, as we work through the frames, we'll get closer and closer to the fire or over the fire. All right, click copy, click on the next frame, paste, and slide it over. Okay. Now, I'm not quite to the center of the flame yet, so I'm going to keep going with this process. I'm going to click copy, click on the next frame over, paste, and then slide it over. Looks like I can go a few more frames, maybe one or two more frames. So copy, click on the next frame, paste, and slide it over. And I will go one more frame. Copy, click on the next frame, paste, and then slide it over. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to go up to view and I'm going to turn off the onion skin because I want to see what I've done so far. And now's a good time to save. So I'm going to go to File and I'm going to go Save. Okay. All right, let's go back to frame 1 in our timeline and let's click play. Good. Okay. So we successfully moved the marshmallow from out of the frame over the fire. Okay, so from the timeline, let's go back and find the frame where we last left the marshmallow. Okay, so let's click on the marshmallow group again. Let's click copy. Let's click on the next frame and let's click paste. Now you notice that we haven't turned on the onion skin and we're not going to move it over. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the marshmallow kind of sit over the flame for a while and slowly get cooked. All right, so we've still got the marshmallow group highlighted, so let's click ungroup. Then I want you to deselect over here somewhere on the background of the frame. Then I want you to click on the marshmallow. Now you should see that because we ungrouped the two objects, that we should only be selected on the marshmallow. Okay, so on the right hand side in the tools panel, let's look at fill. So let's change from solid color to linear gradient. Linear gradient. Then what I want to do is, it looks like from my computer, it automatically kept the first color as white and it set the other color as kind of like a gray, a smoky gray. And that's kind of the color that we want. You can experiment with either a smoky gray or like a light brown. So I'm going to go with smoky gray right here. And then what I'm going to do is, this gradient here, it's got these little trigger points that allows you to adjust what direction that gradient is moving. So if you click on that arrow, you can actually move the gradient so that it's somewhat horizontal, so that it kind of lines up. Because what we want to show is, we want to show that it's getting a little bit cooked on the bottom, and then slowly it's cooking upwards. So then what I can do is I can click this, push this arrow down. Actually, what I should do is I should push the bottom arrow down first, like this. And then I could push this one down. Okay, now it's very easy to rotate, so it's kind of hard to control, but there we go. So I'm showing that the bottom is getting cooked here. Okay? All right. So now we've got the marshmallow highlighted. Then I want you to hold the control key and click on the stick. Now we're not going to group these objects, but what we're going to do is we're going to copy these two objects. So let's copy, and then let's click on the next frame in the timeline and click paste. Now let's deselect and let's click back on the marshmallow. Now what I want to do is I want to move this cooking line, or this gray line, slightly upwards. Okay. Now, with the marshmallow still highlighted, hold the control key, click on the stick, and again, let's copy. From the timeline below, let's click on the next frame and click paste. Then let's deselect. Let's click on the marshmallow and pull this top arrow up a bit more, showing that more of the marshmallow is getting cooked on the bottom. With the marshmallow still highlighted, hold the control key, click on the stick, and then click copy. Then click on the next frame in the timeline. Click paste. Deselect. Click on the marshmallow, and let's move this a little bit more towards the top of the marshmallow. With the marshmallow still highlighted, hold the control key, click on the stick, click copy, click on the next frame in the timeline, click paste. I think by now you can kind of predict what I'm going to say. So let's deselect. Let's click on the marshmallow. Let's move this arrow up one more spot. Now hold the control key and click on the stick. Click copy. Click on the next frame in the timeline. Click paste. Let's deselect. Click on the marshmallow, and I've got, looks like, one more spot to move this arrow so that it looks like now the marshmallow is essentially completely cooked. Okay, so let's click on the control, let's hold the control key and click on the stick, and let's press copy. Let's click on the next frame over in our timeline, and let's click paste. Okay. All right. So using the timeline, I just want to see how many frames I have left. Okay, because what we want to do is we want to make sure that we've got enough frames to show us pulling the marshmallow away from the fire once it's kind of cooked. So that's probably going to take about 6 or 7 frames. So let me count from the back here. We don't want to count the credits frame. So let's count from the back of our animation, the very end of our animation. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's leave 6 frames. So for me, that means I've got 4 more frames where I want to keep the marshmallow in this position here, right over the flame. So I'm going to go back to the frame where I left the marshmallow. I'm going to click on the marshmallow. I'm going to hold the control key. I'm going to click on the stick. I'm going to click copy. I'm going to click on the next frame and I'm going to click paste. Now I'm going to keep doing this for a couple more frames, remembering that I want to leave 6 frames at the end at least to show us pulling the marshmallow away from the fire. So everyone's is going to be a bit different. So you've just got to kind of count it out for your own animation. So I'm going to paste one more time and I'm going to recount 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that leaves me 7 frames to pull the marshmallow away, and that should be fine. Maybe I'll go one more and I'll go paste. Okay? Okay, so here's a good time to save. So let's go up to File, Save. Okay, always got to save your work. So this concludes this Frames 5 video tutorial on Fire Part 5. Please continue on with the next tutorial without calling Mr. Ueda over. Thanks for watching. Bye.